Hey, what's going on, shrimp keepers? It is Saturday, which means a shrimp Saturday, and today I want to talk to you guys about how to breed tangerine tigers. They are a Caridinia species, which generally means that, or Caridinia genus, they're in that family, and their species, usually it represents the tiger shrimp are semi-hardy. Usually they don't require buffer water, but these ones are a little bit special, so we're going to get into all those details today and really teach you guys how to breed them, how to keep them in your own home aquarium. And we're doing this video because I'm celebrating success that we've been having with them, and we have 2 great colonies of them, and it's just really awesome to see them breeding. So we're going to show you some footage from those tanks, and I'm actually going to do a voiceover, which I've never done before, so it's going to be fun editing it up and kind of seeing how it turns out. And let me know what you guys think. And then also, we have about 100 that we can sell, and so I'm excited about that. So we are going to do a special on the website, and so if you guys are interested in getting them after this video, we're going to run the special till next Saturday, and it's going to be good. So I'm really excited about this video. I hope you guys enjoy, and all will be well. So happy Shrimp Saturday, and enjoy the video.
Alright, so right now you're looking at my 40-gallon. I just fed them, so they're all gathered up. But these are tangerine tigers. These are the actual colors. They're completely stunning, and definitely one of my favorite shrimp right now. And so today I want to give you guys a little bit of background. I'll talk about where these shrimp originated from. I do want to talk about the water parameters, tank setup, how I keep them, the water that I keep them in, and what I do, what type of gravel, filtration, decor I have in the tanks, what I do for water changes, how I feed them and what I feed them, and lastly hybridization, and kind of touch on that a little bit. So let's get right into it. First of all, these guys are a Caridinia species, which means they will interbreed with your crystal reds, your crystal blacks, any of your Taiwan bees they'll interbreed with. They'll interbreed with other tiger shrimp. And so definitely know that going into it. And at the very end of this video, we'll talk about interbreeding them and stuff like that. And so these shrimp are wild caught. These ones specifically are not wild caught. These ones have been bred in captivity, but this color variation is from the wild, which means that you know, a couple breeders worked with this line for a while and really brought out the color. But I'm sure if you go to some of those Chinese rivers and rainforests, you will find these shrimp, and they will probably look even better than what they're looking like in my tank. And so, like I just said, these guys originated in China. That's where they come from. They come from slow-moving streams. And just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful shrimp. I would consider them intermediate, so they're not super easy, but as far as like they're the next step from easy to you know, advanced. So I would equate them to a crystal red or a crystal black, and we're just getting ready to get into water parameters, so that's perfect. They actually require the same parameters as the majority of crystal reds and the majority of crystal blacks. So I currently breed them in a pH of less than 7. So my tanks run about 6.7, 6.7, or 6.8, somewhere right in there. So I would say anywhere between 6.6 and 7 is ideal. But these guys are very hardy, so they'll pretty much live in a wide range of parameters. My GH, which is general hardness, I keep between 6 and 8, and then my KH, which is carbonate hardness, I keep between 0 and 3. Mine usually is about 2, to be honest, but that's just because that's the water I make for all my tanks, and I don't specifically make tangerine tiger water. So if I could make it, I would probably keep a KH of 0 to 1. But that's just me. Temperature, anywhere between 68 and 72 is perfect. That's where my tanks fluctuate. I would say 72 is ideal. But honestly, these guys can tolerate a wide range of parameters. So my parameters aren't always perfect for your case. It really depends on where you get your shrimp from. And if you get them from me, you know that they require these parameters. But feel free to go a little bit off this. So I would say any pH less than 7, they're going to breed in. Any GH less than 8, they're going to do pretty good in. And any KH less than 3, they're going to do good in. As far as temperature, anywhere between 60 and 78 they will survive in. They might not thrive, but they will survive. And now let's move on to tank setup. So we're just getting ready to switch videos, And so this is the tank right here. This is everything that we got set up. The first thing that you notice probably is the shoe boxes and the gravel in the shoe boxes. And so, like I said, these guys require a pH of less than 7. So, 6.8, 6.7, somewhere, right in there is good. Just a little bit under 7 is perfect. So we use fluvial shrimp stratum in all of our Tangerine Tiger tanks, and that's what I have in these storage containers. And the reason that I use these storage containers is because buffered substrate, aka fluval, ADA, Amazonia, your contra soil, anything like that, it depletes over time. And so, excuse me, it depletes over time. So like, a gravel might be able to buffer your water for, 2 years, but then it might lose its ability to buffer your water to a pH of less than 7, so then you're going to have to replace that. And so this, having them in the shoe boxes, makes it easier for me to replace the gravel. And so that's what I do, and it works really, really well for me. It's not very appealing to the eye, but it works. The next thing is what you see in the tank. So we'll touch on this a lot throughout the video, but right here at least you see driftwood in the background. We use Malaysian driftwood because it leaches tannins. It's really great for the aquarium in our opinion. These guys originate from slow moving rivers in the middle of forests, so they're used to leaf matter and driftwood and branches and plants and all those things getting into the water, so that is absolutely perfect for them. As far as filtration goes, we use Matten filters. This is a 40-gallon breeder, as I said before, and we use a Matten filter. And what a Matten filter is it's this huge foam block, and we use 3 inches thick for the bigger tanks and 2 inches thick for the smaller tanks. So right now this is a 3-inch piece, and it takes up the whole side of the aquarium. And then that really creates some good surface area for the shrimp to graze on, for biofilm to grow, all that good stuff. And looking in the back, the way these work is there's these huge lift tubes. We use PVC. We use the air line, as you can see it going in the back, and it pumps air up through that 90-degree angle, or that 90-degree elbow, and then it shoots it through to the other side, and that creates good flow throughout the aquarium. It's forcing water to go through it very effectively. It's energy effective, which is great. It's always good to save money. And these, again, create so much surface area. You could see all the shrimp that are grazing on it right now, even though we just fed. If I got this video before we fed, there would be tons on there. And so it really is a good place for baby shrimp to start their life. You can see there's a buried female, and buried means pregnant for those of you that don't know. So that's a pregnant female. She's holding her eggs. So Matten filters are our #1, but also you can see the tank overview. We have 2 API sponge filters. I don't recommend these anymore. So many people have been reporting issues with them. I've personally never had issues with them, but I did want to make that clear. Again, let's get back onto the driftwood. So I add driftwood to all my aquariums. Malaysian driftwood sinks instantly, which makes it ideal. I keep moss in all my aquariums because, again, it creates so much surface area. There's a lot of microorganisms that thrive in it, and it really is just a great thing to have in your aquarium, not only for hiding places but for those microorganisms. And then the other thing is, I'm sure you saw it, it was an Indian almond leaf. We use Indian almond leaves in all of our tanks. I'm sure it will come up again somewhere in the video. But Indian almond leaves are perfect for aquariums, or at least these guys, just because, one, they're going to break down in the aquarium. They're going to leach, again, tannins into the water, which are antioxidants and all that good stuff. And they actually did research on Indian almond leaves that the leaves, or the Indian almond tree, actually has cancer-fighting properties. So these leaves are packed full of good antifungal, antibacterial stuff that is good for aquariums. And again, just to remind you guys, these guys originated in China in slow-moving rivers where there's tons of trees, tons of branches. So the more stuff that you create these guys' natural habitat, the better they're going to do for you. So that's my little input on a tank setup. As far as tank size, it really doesn't matter. I always recommend above 20 gallons if you can. If not above 20, then definitely above 10. And that's just because, in a big body of water, less things can go wrong quicker, and so you have more room for air. But this is our second colony. These guys were already full, so they really didn't want to come out. But again, you can see that we're using the shoe boxes to hold the gravel, so it's easier to change out, easier to manage, easier to see the shrimp kind of. And then again, right in the bottom of the screen, taking up the foreground, is an Indian almond leaf, and these are huge. We have these available on our website if you guys are interested. They usually run anywhere from 30 cents to $1, just depending. I think we sell ours for 54 cents or something like that. So this is your tank setup. If your tank setup looks like this, you got the mat and filter in the back, you know, you're really going to have some success with these guys. So we might as well talk about feeding while we're sitting here watching it. Feeding is one thing that we really do try a lot of different foods, and there are a ton of staple foods out there, so really it's what works for you. We currently feed MK breed foods. They have cheeseburger, red, white, and black, and we feed all of them. We just rotate. Although we just did an order with Shrimp King, and we're going to be switching to their food just to try them out for a while and see if that works. And so any of the big staple names I would recommend, but just pick one and stick with it. Glass Garden is a really good one as well. They have Bacter AE, which is our absolute #1 food that we really love, and it works well for us, so I highly recommend that. As far as amount of times that you're supposed to feed, you know, it's better to feed more often in smaller amounts. So if you could really feed twice a day in tiny amounts, you're gonna do good. Your shrimp should eat it within an hour. If they don't, then you're feeding too much. And so they're scavengers, so they'll just keep eating and keep eating, and if that food isn't getting eaten, then you know, like, whoa, they definitely ate so much. So the more often you feed in smaller amounts, the better your shrimp are going to do and the happier they're going to be. But do what works for your schedule. I've gone 5-6 days without feeding my shrimp and not even thinking about it, not worrying about it. They do completely fine. They're going to eat what's in the tank. So your Indian almond leaves that you're putting in there, all the biofilm that's grown on the filters, the driftwood, all that good stuff, it's all providing natural food for them. And so the more natural food you provide, the better off you're going to be if you're going to, you know, miss a little bit of, you know, feeding day here or there. So let's move on to, or at least go back to, water changes. Just real quickly, 20% water change once a month is perfect. If you split that into a 10% water change every 2 weeks, it's even better because you're spreading it out. And do the water change as slow as you can. So if you have a 5-gallon bucket you can set up on top of your tank or on a stand or something and just slowly let it drip in, that is the absolute best way you can do it. And so water changes slow, no more than 20% a month in my opinion. That's what I do, and that's what works great for me. Honestly, I've gone months, or not months, probably a month and a half without doing a water change and no serious issues. So that's that. The next thing is hybridization. What is it? And it's just mixing shrimp. You know, you got Caridinia, the genius Caridinia, or Caridinia, or however you want to say it. And really, these guys will breed with pretty much anything. So if you're mixing them with crystal reds or crystal blacks or Taiwan beads, a lot of people do that to get new patterns. You know, I don't do it just because I really don't have the time right now to do it. There's too many other things going on, and I just keep my lines specific to that line. And so a lot of people do. I wouldn't say it's frowned upon. In the Caridinia Genius, it's less frowned upon. In the Neo Caridinia Genius, it's more frowned upon. But really, if you're just doing it as a hobby, do what you like, do what you love. If you put a couple pretty shrimp together and they make some cool patterns, that's completely your preference, and I have nothing bad to say about it. So that's just my 2 cents on that. These guys will interbreed, so definitely keep that in mind. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, but I might have. So you guys just enjoy the rest of this video, and thank you for watching. And subscribe. Definitely subscribe, because we are going to be coming out with some great videos. Hopefully. At least in my opinion, they're going to be great. But anyway, you guys make it an awesome week, and I will talk with you guys soon.